The sun is up, the drinks are hot, and now it's time for our first cup. Today, do it, damn it. So, fair warning. Today is a high ADHD day. Uh, what's that? Well, despite my medication kicking in and my caffeine being very much in my veins, behavior channeled as best I can, my brain is still as vibrantly bouncy as a circus full of squirrels being run by a ringmaster who is essentially the god of shiny distractions. And let me tell you, today's days like today, rather, are a special kind of joy and frustration. On the one hand, my creativity is greatly enhanced usually, right? This is great for picking apart problems, for fucking with functional fixity, for comedy, for absurdity. It's an unfettered kind of pure cognition. It's unfettered by convention. There's a lot of that out there. Uh, days like today are anathema to stodgy structure, to self-justifying narratives. Days like today are human in a way that routine rarely reflects and often rejects. And that's where the frustration comes in. Because these days run almost perfectly perpendicular to structure, to authority, to tradition. And and this is even to the aspects of those things that I respect or that I love or that I need, right? It's not intentional. I mean, I was trained as a scientist, right? Like I examined evidence in legal settings, right? And as we all know, science and law are two fields that are known for their very devil may care sort of rule agnostic. Yeah. Actually, no sarcasm. You can see how a day like today could be very challenging if your life demands propriety or precision or parsimony. So, what do I do on a day like today? The best I can, frankly put. I mean, I stick to the routines that I can. I take care of me and mine the best that I can. Uh, but I also call a ton of audibles, right? Plans that feel like they need to change, they're going to change. In fact, they changed so much that today's notes are written in Sharpie, right? They're not typed. And of the 3 or 4 episode ideas that I had in the hopper for today, none of them had anything to do with this. And there were another probably 4 or 5 that I considered even this morning. Like I did not know that I was doing this until I was sitting down, pretty much. And you know what? I'm actually thankful for that deviation, big as it is. The deviation in my plans, right? The differences in my cognition. Days like today, I am forced from comfort, right? I am dramatically aware of the disjunction from typical function. And whether this happens in me because it's a trick of biology or cognition or acculturation, um, whatever it is, it's here and it's unasked for. But before any of that, it simply is. And in that simplicity of a squirrel circus, I am free to see so many things that I might overlook otherwise. Ideas that seem solid and self-evident on other days can fall apart like wet sand on days like today. Insight becomes almost overwhelmingly like omnipresent, right? I have fluorescent breakthroughs on days like today more than any other. It's whether it's projects or ideas or designs or relationships or work, like they just keep coming. Uh, at least they do now. And this brings me to my final point for today. The big old D at the end of my ADHD disorder. I mean, is it though? Like atypical function, sure. Misunderstood? Absolutely. Don't ever have ADHD and go on TikTok or social media and look for people talking about ADHD. Just don't do it. Um, am I different? Yes, that is easily granted. No problem there. But disorder, like, yes, there are challenges that I face that require accommodation, both from myself and from others. I get that. Like, it can be a genuine challenge to relate to some people, like, especially those who value like structure over function, people with like a more authoritarian bent, you know. Um, but this disorder, air quotes, right, has allowed me to do things that I never thought I'd do, right? I mean, it's allowed me to do actually impactful science, get it published in peer review. Um, it helped me grow an anime convention from 60,000 to 100,000 unique attendees in, 2 years. Like, and I can still remember the faces of a lot of those people when we let them into the convention center. Like, yeah, that's another episode. Um, you know, the days like today, my disorder has inspired me to create things from nothing, right? Like build startups like Power Level to create things like the decision deck. I I literally do not know where I would be if I didn't have this disorder. And in that, you know, I wonder what other people might have in their disorders, right? Which again is another episode for another time, but I think you can see why this is the top of my mind right now. Now, at the top, I called this episode Do It, Damn It. Why? Because I know that it can still be scary to jump in on a day like today, right? Despite knowing everything that I know, the good and the bad, it can still be scary. And I have my share of scars, yes, absolutely. But I also have this trove of ideas and experiences and relationships that I found on days like today. And, you know, thus the only conclusion that I can come to is to tell myself to do it. Damn it. Feel free to steal that if you need it. Now, no matter what you've heard or what I've said, remember death comes for us all, and a closed mouth never gets fed. I'll talk to you soon.